Alrighty, howdy again, and welcome back to the next update video for Jack Hoth, The Legendary Journey. So, the last video I talked about basically just general update stuff. I'm working on getting everything back into the game before I move on to some of the, get back to working on the newer stuff to complete it all. And then I'll have to go into play testing and tweak things and fix things. So we're still a little ways away from me putting this game out, but we're getting there. So this one I was going to talk about some of the new additions, specifically with quests. There's going to be a lot more quests. For example, the second area, fairly early on I put in, because the theme for the second area, because if you aren't aware, every area of the game has a theme, both in the terrain, which is typical of RPGs, but also the enemies. They all have dialogue. Every single one has unique dialogue, and it is all thematic. The first one's Monty Python, the second one's 90s alternative music and grunge and stuff. The third one is Mystery Science Theater 3000. Good return season for them, by the way. Check it out on Netflix if you have not, or if you've never seen the series before. Most of the episodes are up on YouTube anyway. Go check it out. It's a great series. Very fun. Lots of laughs. So, Area 4, again, I'm not going to give them all away if you've never played the game before. Every area has its own theme with the enemies, and then sometimes secondary or even tertiary themes. In the case of the second one, all the NPCs that I put in, several of them, there were 3 or 4, they were the only side quests in the game in the early versions, and they were all based around musicals. It was a juxtaposition thing, contrasting alternative rock 90s music with musicals. Because I love music. The whole, oh, you listen to musicals, you must be gay. It's all bullshit to me. Music is music. If I like it, I'll listen to it. I don't give a fuck where it came from. So I've added in a bunch more of those. Not just stuff from musicals either. There's Frank Sinatra, and you've got to rescue Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. Tommy Steele from The Happiest Millionaire, Mrs. Lovett from Sweeney Todd, Annie Oakley from Annie Get Your Gun, the Cats Girls, the Hair Group, and a few others that you'll meet and talk to. So I've been adding in a bunch more quests, and I'm going to be adding in a bunch more, hopefully. Area 3, I've added in some ruins that you're going to be able to explore, and there's stuff associated with those. Area 4, or Area 3, if I said that wrong. Area 4, because this area always had so much environmental stuff, I didn't add a lot here in terms of new stuff in general. But I'll get back to that. So Area 5, I haven't gotten to the new stuff yet. I'm thinking I want to do like a Goonies type of treasure hunt quest in here for just a big quest. Maybe some small stuff. As I said in the last video, everything I do tends to have kind of a cadence to it, and ebbs and flows, ups and downs, symphonic or poetic quality, if you will. And my game's not really any different. In this case, I kind of built up from the first area, which is kind of the training area, which is normal for games, but then up to Area 4, there's a lot of stuff in Area 4, so it's kind of a build-up, and then Area 5, not as much. Area 6, there's more. Area 7, in the old versions, there was a lot less stuff in it. I'm putting a lot more stuff into this version. Then Area 8, not very much. Then Area 9 is the last one. It's the big crescendo, the big finale. So there's a cadence to the game. Area 4, since it was already stuffed full of stuff in the environment, I didn't add a lot. Mostly what I've added here is that you'll have to find some switches to get this gate open, which will be in the houses. You'll just have to look through the stuff in the houses. And also, you can probably just barely see down here a major new addition, which is, there I go with the popping of the mouth again, the crackling. This, well, let me get a clearer shot of him here. This dude over here, I gave him a makeover, but this is my dude. In the original version of the game, since it was about 60% parody RPG, 40% fan game, you know, like I said, the original old OG version, I put myself in the game as a joke. Although if you've played it all the way through, there's more to it than that, but mostly it was a joke. A meta joke, in that because I'm the game developer, everything that happens in the game happens because I'm the one that makes it happen. So in the game, there's a version of me, a character based on me, that's also making the main guy go on the quest. So it was just a weird, twisty little meta joke. But I decided that since I'm doing this as the bigger, badder, better, the Triple B version of the game, perhaps the definitive version, at least in an RPG Maker format, because I don't plan on remaking it again. But anyway, since this is going to be the big badass version of the game that's going to take all the stuff that I've learned and done from the prior versions and do it all up even bigger and better, I wanted to give my dude a presence in the world of the game more so. Make him, I didn't give up any of the stuff, the jokes and things, the meta jokes and the in-jokes and the breaking the fourth wall stuff, but I wanted to actually make him more of a character within the world that this game takes place in. So I've given him a lot more backstory. And I wanted to do it because other than the main dude, Jack in this case, Jack Hoth, he's the only one that's in the entire game. He's as I said, it started off as a meta joke, but he is still the character that gives you the big quest to go rescue the princess. Again, it's supposed to be a parody at its core. But the linchpin character, he's the one that is making you go do this stuff and is guiding you throughout the game, even if he's mostly playing Mr. Exposition a lot of the time, which is what I wanted to actually give him something more, make him more than just be Mr. Exposition beyond the original joke. So I've given him more of a backstory. You learn, it kind of kicks off in Area 4, which is right here. You meet this character who has history with him. And then starting in Area 7 in particular, well, you learn more about what he does in the next couple of areas, mostly by talking to him, but then in Area 7 you also meet some other characters who work with him, for him, have relationships with him, all that sort of stuff. So I really built a backstory and gave him more presence within the world that this is taking place in, and more reason for what he's doing and who the character is and all that good junk. And in the spirit of doing that, I've also taken a few other characters. I've added a couple that you're going to meet along the way. Here's one that you're going to meet a few times in the game. Crescent Moon, if you're watching, since I don't know when I'm going to be getting around to doing well, originally it was Silence of the James, but it'll have a different title when I remake it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to work on that one next, since it's the sequel to this game, or if I want to move on and do Citadel of Arkit, which is, again, more of a serious RPG. Or perhaps work on something else, because I have an idea for doing like basically Doom meets an RPG game, kind of an FPS sci-fi horror shooter, but in RPG form. I have some ideas for something I want to do there that might be fun. So I'm not sure what I'm going to work on next, but since I promised you, again, Crescent Moon, if since you were playing my games, that I would put you in one of them. I'm still going to make you a main character when I get in the Silence of the James remake, or the once I start working on it in this platform, the MV program. You're still going to be in that game, but I don't know when I'm going to make that game, so I made you a character in this one. And you're going to help the main characters find an artifact, the Trifarce. So you've got 3 appearances through the game to help them find the pieces of the Trifarce. There's also going to be some others that are introduced in Area 1, for example. I don't want to give them all away, but I can... Well, I'm not really giving anything away by talking about them being there. In the original, the older versions of the game, there was a girl that was encased in ice and just had throwaway lines like, "I'm giving my boyfriend the cold shoulder." Not terrible visual puns, really, but I took her and I've made her into an ice elf, and she's going to be making several appearances and have an entire story arc through the game. And then in Area 2, there in the older versions, there was two characters that were in love with each other, and it was just a quick quest to find the sweets for the sweetie. So I've given them both quests, and then they're going to have an entire story arc as well. You're going to run into them a few more times in the game, and there's more of a story that's going to unfold with those two. And then I think I showed you the one dude. He's going to show up a few times. I think I've got a few other ones I want to do, but at least those 3 are going to be recurring. Or 4, rather. So there's going to be some recurring stuff, plus all the extra backstory and characters and stuff with my dude. Okay, so I think that, pardon me, covers that pretty well. Go ahead and end this one here. So thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.